Welcome to this week's edition of the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald Talking Newspaper podcast. As published on Wednesday the 13th of August 2025, recorded by volunteers for Bishopbriggs-based charity Cue and Review Print Speaking to the Blind, and provided for the benefit of visually and reading impaired people, free of charge. Cue and Review's social media tags are @Cue and Review, that's @CueandReview, and you can call me, Ian, on 07598 846 694 if you have any feedback about our service, positive or negative.
It's time for a big weekend by Kevin McRoberts. Kirkintilloch is all set for an action-packed, fun-filled weekend of live music, entertainment and fantastic family fun. The town's first ever Kirkintilloch Big Weekend takes place this Friday, August 15th to Sunday, August 17th, and everyone is invited. Set to be held in the heart of Kirkintilloch's Cowgate, the festival weekend will see the town transformed with a lively fun fair, live performances, a classic car show and a giant dinosaur experience that's sure to thrill younger visitors. There will also be a market selling food and drinks, showcasing everything from artisan eats to street food favourites. Earlier this year, East Dunbartonshire Council cancelled Kirkintilloch's annual Canal Festival due to lack of funding, with Kirkintilloch Business Improvement District, BID, vowing at the time to try to put together an alternative flagship community event, and that resulted in the Big Weekend. A spokesperson for Kirkintilloch BID said, "We're thrilled to be launching Kirkintilloch Big Weekend, which is all about bringing the community together, boosting local businesses and giving families a brilliant reason to visit the town centre this summer. Whether you're here for the classic cars, the food or the dinosaurs, there's something here for everyone. Look out for live music from a Taylor Swift tribute, Jimmy Steele sax and covers band The Wee Drams, a Glasgow-based covers band, and performances by Kirkintilloch's very own Vivacity Dance Company." It's just a couple of days until the first ever Kirkintilloch Big Weekend, with the town set for 3 days of free entertainment, live music, classic cars and family fun. Organised by the Kirkintilloch Business Improvement District, BID, the event will run from this Friday, August 15th to Sunday, August 17th, focusing on town centre vibrancy, local business involvement and attractions for all ages. Set to be held in the heart of Kirkintilloch's Cowgate, the festival weekend will see the town transformed with a lively fun fair, live performances, a classic car show and a giant dinosaur experience that's sure to thrill younger visitors. There will also be a market selling food and drinks, showcasing everything from artisan eats to street food favourites. Included on the musical lineup for the weekend is a Taylor Swift tribute who will perform many hits such as Cruel Summer, Style, August and Blank Space. Jimmy Steele Sax, who has played sold-out shows across the UK and brought the sax sound to crowds everywhere, will be bringing his sax sounds to Kirkintilloch. And The Wee Drams, a Glasgow-based cover band, will be performing classic hits, crowd pleasers and the kind of set that'll have the whole street joining in. Kirkintilloch's very own Vivacity Dance Company will also be taken to the stage. Hosting the main stage on Saturday, August 16th, will be David Farrell, probably best known from the radio on Heart Drive Time, and on Sunday, August 17th, Grant Thompson from Clyde One. Across the weekend, events will be taking place at several other venues, including Kirkintilloch Baptist Church and St Mary's Parish Church. At the Baptist Church on Sunday, there will be plenty of family fun, including laser tag, crafts, face painting, inflatables and afternoon tea. At St Mary's on Saturday, there will be back-to-school potted sports. And on Sunday, there will be the chance to parachute your teddy from the church tower. Kirkintilloch Big Weekend is free to attend, with no tickets required, and is expected to draw thousands of visitors from across East Dunbartonshire, Glasgow and beyond. Find out more at www.kirkintillochbigweekend.co.uk and get all the latest updates at facebook.com/Kirkintilloch Big Weekend. That article was written by Kevin McRoberts and it was read by Jahan.
This week in history. August 16th, 1962, Pete Best, original drummer with the Beatles, was fired by Brian Epstein and replaced by Ringo Starr. August 17th, 1987, former senior Nazi Rudolf Hess committed suicide in Spandau prison at the age of 93. On this day last year, Paris Hilton said she was incredibly grateful for support after a fire on the set of her Bad Bitch Academy music video. Hilton posted a picture of her burned out trailer on her Instagram story, showing it completely gutted. August 18, 1971, 28-year-old disabled man Eamon McDevitt was shot dead by the army in Strathblane, Northern Ireland. August 19th, 1953, England, under Captain Len Hutton, won the Ashes for the first time since the controversial Bodyline Tour of 1932-33. August 20th, 1956, Calder Hall, in Cumbria, the world's first large-scale atomic power station, began generating. On this day last year, Lindsay Lohan said her heart was so full as filming on the upcoming Freaky Friday sequel drew to a close. The American actress, 38, was returning to her role as Anna, while Jamie Lee Curtis was reprising her part as her mother Tess for the follow-up, titled Freakier Friday. That was This Week in History. Date Wednesday the 13th of August 2025. Read by me, Ian.
Anger over fallen tree. A report by Kevin McRoberts. A Bishopbriggs pensioner has hit out at East Dunbartonshire Council after a tree was brought down during last Monday's storm, crashing through his greenhouse and striking his home. William Gilchrist, 87, said it was only a matter of time before one of the trees from the council-owned park behind his bungalow in Doon Crescent came crashing down. Together with a number of neighbours, William has contacted the council on several occasions in recent years, asking for the trees to be lopped as they believed they were too high. He's angry their concerns were not acted upon, and he said the consequences could have been much more serious, as he'd been working in his greenhouse that morning and his wife Jan had been out sweeping up leaves just moments before the tree came down. William said, "We knew this was going to happen. We've been warning the council about it for years. I'd fallen asleep in a chair and was woken by a noise. I knew immediately what had happened. It crashed through the greenhouse and ended up lying against the side of the house." William added, "If I'd been in the greenhouse, I'd have been gone. I'd been out there that morning. I was going to go back out in the afternoon, but I sat down for a rest and dozed off. If I hadn't, I'd have been in the greenhouse at the time the tree came down. My wife was in the garden just minutes before it happened, so she was fortunate too. We're retired farmers, so we know about trees. They're all overhanging the properties and rotting at the bottom. Someone came out about 4 or 5 years ago and marked them, but nothing happened after that. I'm really angry about it." Thomas McMenamin, the council's executive officer for roads and neighbourhood services, said, "We received reports of a number of trees which had been impacted by very strong winds during Storm Floris, with teams responding as quickly as possible to ensure public safety and clear obstructions. After being alerted by the resident, we attended a property in Doon Crescent and arranged for a fallen tree to be removed from the garden. A second tree close to the property has also been identified as a potential issue. A further site visit will assess any work required in the area. We were aware of previous inquiries regarding a number of trees in the area, which were duly attended to as required at the time. That report was written by Kevin McRoberts and read by me, Nikki. MP to host online funding workshop for local groups. Mid Dunbartonshire's MP will host a virtual funding workshop with the People's Postcode Lottery for charities, volunteer organisation and community groups in the area. The session will give good causes in Susan Murray's constituency advice on how they can apply for funds to make a difference in their community. The Zoom event will be on Thursday, August 21 at 4 p.m. Today, players of People's Postcode Lottery have raised over £1.5 billion for good causes and are now raising over £19 million a month for thousands of charities. Over £154,000 raised by People's Postcode Lottery players has already made a difference to many small local good causes in Mid Dunbartonshire. In 2025, grassroots good causes will once again have the opportunity to apply for funding. Susan said, "I am delighted to co-host this funding workshop to provide charities with the information they need to access funding successfully. Local community groups in Mid Dunbartonshire deliver a wide range of activities for residents, promoting health and well-being. It is important that these groups survive and thrive in these difficult times, and the support available through the People's Postcode Lottery is brilliant. I want to encourage them to attend the workshop to learn more about the opportunities available to them. It is, of course, thanks to the players of People's Postcode Lottery that these funds are available, and I am grateful for their continued support." Nick Cook, Head of Public Affairs at People's Postcode Lottery, added, "We want to do as much as we can to help local charities and good causes successfully apply, particularly at a time when many are losing out on essential funds. Our free virtual workshop is a useful opportunity for smaller local charities to find out about the funding available, get advice on applying, and ask us any questions they may have. To attend the workshop, contact funding at postcodelottery.co.uk. To attend the workshop, contact funding at postcodelottery.co.uk.
Exam results are in, and it's good news for pupils. By Julie Curry. Hundreds of pupils across East Dunbartonshire found out how they performed in their National 5, Higher and Advanced Higher exams on Tuesday. Early analysis has indicated that, overall, results remain strong for pupils in the area's 8 secondary schools: Kirkintilloch High School, St Ninian's High School, Lenzie Academy, Bishopbriggs Academy, Turnbull High School, Bearsden Academy, Beauclair Academy and Douglas Academy. A significant number of young people passed, achieving A, B and C grades. For National 5 it was 82.6%, for Highers it was 81.8%, and for Advanced Higher the figure was 77.5%. The National 5 and Higher results are an improvement on 2024, and Advanced Higher results are on a par with last year. Councillor Linda Williamson, Convener of Education, said, "It's been another fantastic year for our senior pupils who have achieved some truly excellent results. Huge congratulations to everyone who worked so hard to make this happen, from the young people themselves who spent hours planning and revising for their exams, their families who have supported them, and, of course, our dedicated school staff who are committed to ensuring every single pupil in East Dunbartonshire reaches their full potential. We are delighted to see so many achieving National 5, Higher and Advanced Higher awards, but are equally as proud of our pupils' achievements in National Progression Awards and Foundation Apprenticeships. These qualifications provide flexible pathways to support pupils to develop skills relevant to careers and the world of work. It is our goal to see all our young people go on to positive destinations following their school career, whether that be apprenticeships, the workplace, or further education. Pupils concerned about their grades can speak to their teachers and submit an appeal, which involves a marking review by the SQA2. More support is also available on the Skills Development Scotland website at www.myworldofwork.co.uk, or you can speak to an expert in person at one of its centres. To find your nearest centre, visit skillsdevelopmentscotland.co.uk/contact-SDS. That article was written by Julie Curry.
Doctors asked to have a say, as recorded by Hunter MacDonald. Doctors being urged to share their views about how best to shape and sustain Scotland's medical workforce over the next 15 to 20 years. The Future Medical Workforce Project will gather feedback from doctors, residents and senior clinicians to help shape future reforms in training, recruitment and workforce planning. Over the next 2 months, the Scottish Government is running a series of in-person or online focus groups to help better understand current pressures facing the profession and how best to respond to the challenges of delivering care among a changing population. These sessions will form the first phase of the project, with a final report being published in autumn, setting out key insights and recommendations. The second phase, beginning in January 2026, will focus on reform, improving recruitment and the redesigning of medical education. Health Secretary Neil Gray said, "This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to shape the future of the medical workforce and create a sustainable, fulfilling career path for doctors in Scotland. We know the NHS faces major challenges, and it is vital that those living the reality of what it means to be a doctor today are at the heart of shaping what comes next. I strongly encourage doctors to get involved in this work. Your voice matters, and your insight will help ensure that the future of our health service is informed, inclusive and resilient." Visit www.gov.scot/doctors-ask-for-views-on-future-of-profession if you're interested in finding out more or want to sign up to take part. Invite to take up RSV vaccine. Public Health Scotland is encouraging older adults to take up the offer of a vaccination for respiratory syncytial virus. RSV is a common and highly infectious virus that affects the breathing system. It generally causes mild illness with cold-like symptoms such as a runny nose, cough, fever or decrease in appetite. RSV can be very serious for those who are at the highest risk of serious illness from the infection, including older adults and babies. In the coming weeks, those turning 75 years old between August the 1st this year and July the 31st next year will receive invitations to get their RSV vaccination. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Professor Graham Ellis said, "Public Health Scotland research published earlier this year showed the vaccine has led to a 62% reduction in RSV-related hospitalisations among the eligible 75 to 79 age group."
Schools Trio Traffic Free, a report by Julie Curry. East Dunbartonshire Council will be introducing Phase 2 of its Traffic Free Schools project at 3 new schools from August 14 in a bid to increase child and pedestrian safety. Traffic Free Schools is an initiative where driving is prohibited on sections of road immediately outside the entrance to schools for a short period of time at the start and end of the school day. This can improve safety by reducing the volume of vehicles parked and moving around at the busiest areas for children and adults accessing the school. It can also make places more attractive for walking, wheeling and cycling, thereby encouraging more journeys to be made in this way. Lennoxtown Primary School, Meadowburn Primary School in Bishopbriggs and Thomas Muir Primary School in Bishopbriggs have been selected for Phase 2. Visit www.eastonbarton.gov.uk/roads-pavements-transport/roads-pavements-schools/ for maps of the areas included in the restricted zones. The second phase of the project, which will run until the schools finish up on Thursday, June 25 next year, will prohibit driving at selected roads adjacent to the schools between 8:30 a.m. and 9:15 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. and 3:15 p.m. Monday to Friday during term time. This follows the permanent implementation of the scheme at Clober Primary School in Milngavie, Craighead Primary School in Milton of Campsie, and the shared St Matthew's and Wester Cledens Primary School campus in Bishopbriggs after the success of the first phase of the project. Results from the first phase showed positive road safety outcomes for children and their families travelling to and from school. Councillor Paul Ferretti, convener of the Council's Place, Neighbourhood and Corporate Assets Committee, said, "It was great to see such positive results from the first pilot phase, which has seen a significant reduction in traffic volumes, a reduction in noise pollution, and an increase in walking, cycling and wheeling to schools. By restricting access to areas around the schools during set times, it will help improve road safety and create a happier, safer and more pleasant environment for pupils, carers, staff and neighbouring residents alike. If you are not exempt, please help your local school community be safer and healthier and consider travelling by alternative means. If you're required to drive during these times, then please plan an alternative route and ensure you park safely and considerately outside of the restricted zones. To support the development of the project and assist with monitoring its effectiveness, the Council has consulted with school senior management teams and Police Scotland. A survey was also carried out in recent months, which was responded to by school staff, parents, carers and local residents. In addition, baseline traffic and parking counts have been undertaken along with awareness-raising activities. Access will be maintained at all times for permit holders, including residents and businesses, blue badge holders and permitted vehicles. This report was written by Julie Curry. Positions now open for new Aldi store. A report by Julie Curry. Aldi has launched a recruitment drive for its new store in Kirkintilloch as a result of the supermarket chain's continued expansion. In a welcome boost to the local economy, the UK's fourth largest supermarket is currently recruiting for 16 colleagues for the new store. As locals eagerly await the opening, Aldi is looking to build a new team of 14 store assistants and 2 cleaners. The firm is keen to offer the local community stable career opportunities while providing access to great quality, fresh, affordable food. Aldi will become the first supermarket to pay store assistants at least £13 an hour. The new minimum rate will take effect from September 1 this year and further exceeds the real living wage of £12.60 an hour that was set by the Living Wage Foundation in October last year. Store assistants are currently paid a minimum of £12.75 an hour nationwide. Based on the length of service, their pay will rise further to £13.93 nationally. Aldi is also the only retailer to offer all colleagues paid breaks, which is worth approximately £1,385 a year for the average store colleague. Kelly Stokes, HR Director for Aldi UK, said, "We're really excited about creating even more jobs in Kirkintilloch. Aldi's increased popularity and customer demands for quality products allows us to continue growing and create more employment opportunities across the region. We are committed to creating rewarding careers, offering a great working environment and real opportunity to progress within the business. Colleagues that thrive at Aldi have a can-do attitude, determination and buckets of ambition. Those interested in applying should visit https://www.aldirecruitment.co.uk/stores. Aldi is Britain's fourth largest supermarket with more than 1,050 stores and 45,000 staff members. The new store in Kirkintilloch is part of its £40 million expansion in Scotland. The firm plans to open more than 225 new stores in 2025 across the UK. The town's new store will be located at the Kirkintilloch Gateway at the junction of McGavigan's Road and Initiative Road. Aldi is also planning to improve the surrounding area, including pedestrian access and the creation of a new access road with store parking. That report was written by Julie Curry.
Police appeal. Road policing officers are appealing for information following a serious crash in Kirkintilloch. Around 2:10 p.m. on Monday, August the 4th, officers received a report of a crash involving a Honda Jazz and a pedestrian in a car park on Shamrock Street. Emergency services attended and the 92-year-old male pedestrian was taken to the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital for treatment. A section of the car park was closed for almost 3 hours and reopened around 5:50 p.m. Sergeant Adnan Alam said, "Our inquiries are ongoing and I am appealing for anyone with any information to contact us. I'd ask anyone who witnessed the crash who hasn't already spoken to officers to get in touch, as well as anyone who may have dashcam footage which could assist. Contact 101 quoting reference 1950 of August the 4th.
Trio up for Best in West by Julie Curry. The hottest awards in the Scottish food calendar have unveiled the finalists for the 2025 event, with the very best of India, China, Japan and Nepal recognised. The Spice Awards are widely regarded as the Oscars of the curry world, and in their 7 years have gone from focusing mainly on Indian food to honouring dishes, chefs, restaurants and takeaways representing more of Asia's cultures and cuisines. Among the 2025 finalists is Swaran Indian Cuisine in Bishopbriggs, which is in the running for the best Indian restaurant in the west of Scotland, along with Raha Rani in Bearsden and Classic India in Milngavie. Swaran in Kirkintilloch Road is also a finalist in the Curry Championships and for Best Chef. Also in the running for the Best Chef award is the Alba restaurant at Crawwood Hotel in Muirhead and Mr Rice in Kirkintilloch. Hot Wok Torrance is a finalist for Best Chinese Takeaway, along with Ai Chai Express in Bishopbriggs and Mr Rice in Kirkintilloch, while Orchid Lane in Muirhead is up for Best Chinese Restaurant, and Nigiri Kirkintilloch for Best Japanese Restaurant. The gala final on September 1st will see the ultimate winners crowned after a panel of expert judges visit each finalist. A live cook-off event will also determine the curry championship. Awards Director Warren Paul said, "We are incredibly proud of the passion the Spice Awards inspire across the whole of Scotland. The number of entries and votes this year was crazy, way beyond expectations. These awards are growing every year, and different ideas, cultures and talents are being recognised from across the Asian continent as we celebrate their massive impact on Scotland. Thank you to everyone who has nominated or voted, and good luck to all our finalists. This is already a big achievement as the volume of entries was staggering." Our judging panel will now get to work to ensure our awards are always the recommendation and guide the public can really trust. This truly is a celebration of some of the best food on the planet. Tickets for the awards at Doubletree by Hilton Glasgow, hosted by Des Clark, are available at spiceawards.co.uk/book-seats. That article was written by Julie Curry.
Seamus was a true champion, a report by Julie Curry. Just days after a celebration event where he was honoured as one of this year's Provost's Community Champions, Seamus Harkin sadly passed away. A much-loved and key figure of the Addiction and Recovery Centre in Kirkintilloch, he was joined by dozens of family and friends at the centre on Monday, July 14, where he was presented with his award by Provost Gillian Rennick and Deputy Provost Colette McDermott. With the blessing of his family, we are sharing the story of his success. Seamus helped run the Addiction Recovery Centre in the town for more than 20 years, turning countless lives around, sometimes in the centre where the group meets 3 times a week, but often on the end of a 24-hour helpline. Many of those he supported through addiction or mental health issues attended his presentation event, a measure of the esteem in which he was held. Seamus spoke about the support he had been given to help him do what he does and paid tribute to his lovely family and the friends he'd been blessed with. However, he accepted the award on behalf of the team at the centre. Seamus said, "It's lovely to get this award and to be recognised for my work at the centre, but I don't do it for recognition and it doesn't feel like work. I feel very humble to have been nominated and to have so many people say such kind things about me. I am part of a team at the centre, so the award is for us all. So many people keep the ship running, but a special mention and thanks from me to Lorraine and Tony. I'm very lucky to have a wonderful family who have always supported me in all aspects of my life. I'm grateful for them and for all the friends I've made through the centre over the years who have helped me more than they will know. Thanks to Lorraine for taking the time to nominate me and to the Provost and Deputy Provost for coming to the centre to see the valuable service that is provided here. I'm honoured to receive this award, which was very unexpected." Seamus also expressed his gratitude for the life he had led before encouraging everyone in an impromptu sing-song of "You Are My Sunshine," followed by lots of chat, tea and cake. He was nominated for the award by Lorraine, who volunteers at the centre. She said, "Seamus always made time for everyone who came into the centre, from teenagers to people in their 80s. He helped them and their families with practical solutions, sheer compassion and dedication. He organised groups where people could safely discuss their feelings, and he steered them towards the help they needed. He also helped with the centre's admin and was always available when needed, regardless of what it was. It was just amazing to see the commitment, dedication, time, energy and love he put into this much-needed service. His dedication was second to none. He was nearly 80 years old and genuinely a very humble, admirable and unique gentleman. This award is so well deserved and such a fitting tribute to our friend who will be very much missed. Lorraine's nomination was on behalf of people who currently attend the centre, those who have attended over the last 20 years, their families and others in the local community who appreciated Seamus's hard work. Provost Rennick added, "We were all deeply saddened to hear of Seamus's passing. It was lovely to meet him and help celebrate his achievement. It was clear how much he was loved and respected and how much he will be missed." Seamus was everything that the Community Champion Awards are about. His commitment to the centre and his unwavering support for others is his legacy, and I'm honoured to have met him. That report was written by Julie Curry.
Wednesday, 13th of August. Family announcements. Deaths. McEwen, Julia Elizabeth, Julia McEwen, née Cleland, died peacefully at Glasgow Royal Infirmary on Saturday, August the 9th, 2025, aged 75. Much loved wife of Brian, and mum to Yvonne and Julianne and their families. For funeral arrangements, please contact J&D Lawson, Funeral Directors of Kirkintilloch, 0141 776 2242. And that was the only announcement this week.
Good news for those in the market for housing by Robert Claiborne. Property in Scotland's largest city have increased by £15,597 over the last 12 months, thanks to an 8% year-on-year increase. Homes in Glasgow saw an additional £1,691 added to their price tag, following a 1% monthly gain from April to May this year. The average home is now worth £187,927, following the rise in property prices, although values remain well below the UK average. While homes in the city of Glasgow have done well, the big property price winners are in East Dunbartonshire. House prices for the area increased by 7% from April to May this year, worth an extra £18,914. The average home in East Dunbartonshire is now £259,103, surpassing the average house price in Glasgow comfortably, and just £10,000 short of the UK average. In Scotland, there was no monthly increase, but an annual 6.4% rise, meaning the average Scottish home now costs around £192,000. The average UK home is now worth £269,000, following the 3.9% rise over the last 12 months, which added £10,000 to prices. House prices in England saw an annual price rise of 3.4%, making the average property worth £290,000, while Wales had a 5.1% increase and homes stood at £210,000 on average. The report revealed more than 80,000 properties were sold in March, surpassing the totals from 2023 and 2024. Tom Evans, Sales Director at Purplebricks Estate Agency, said, "Great news once again for the nation's homeowners, and at a promising time for first-time buyers too. The falling interest rates over the last 12 months has helped drive down mortgage rates and drive up property prices. And the forecast base rate cut in August should continue that trend. We're confident prices will continue to rise next year, meaning your home at the start of 2026 will be worth more than it is today. Robert Nichols, Managing Director of Purple Bricks Mortgages, added, "This is the best time to be a first-time buyer. Lower interest rates means lower mortgage rates. While that is pushing up house prices, it also acts as a confidence booster to would-be buyers. The government's Helping Hand scheme for first-time buyers will also drive more market movement." That article was written by Robert Claiborne.
The Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald, date Wednesday the 13th of August. The letters page. Let's talk. Please send your letters via email to kirkyscotland@jnscotland.co.uk. That's KIRKYHERALD @JNScotland.co.uk and write letters in the subject field. Please keep letters to a maximum of 300 words. Letters cannot be published without a name and postal address. Also include a daytime phone number if possible. We reserve the right to edit any letter. Pope for Peace. Sir, Pope Leo XVI celebrated his 3 months in office with a youth mass on the theme of peace. He's fast making a reputation of being a peacemaking pope. Quietly, he's negotiating an end to the war in Ukraine, having twice met with Volodymyr Zelensky and phoned Vladimir Putin. As a long-serving member of the Augustinian fraternity, his watchwords are unity and peace. One of his first acts as pope was to visit the fraternity, which he had led prior to becoming pope, assuring his former colleagues that they were still his brothers. In contrast to his predecessor, the charismatic Pope Francis, Pope Leo has been described as an introvert who is very much a team player. Much of his papacy is spent listening and, as he said to the young people, patiently and tirelessly, trying to resolve conflict by, not fearsome weapons, but long-term negotiation, a quality much needed in our war-torn world. We are blessed to have such a Pope. Yours, etc., Ian Petrie, by email. Meal deal donation. Sir, how often do you pick up a £4 supermarket meal deal? Maybe it's become part of your daily routine, a quick lunch between meetings or an easy grab and go on a busy day. Since winning the Great British Bake Off, life has been full of exciting commitments for me, and it can be tempting to rely on the convenience of a meal deal when my schedule gets busy. But here's something to consider. That same £4 can provide 40 meals for children in some of the world's poorest communities. That's why I'm proud to support Mary's Meals deals, encouraging people to swap the cost of a supermarket meal deal for something truly powerful, a donation that helps feed hungry children. That impact is real and life-changing. Mary's Meals feeds more than 2.6 million children every school day across 16 countries, attracting them into classrooms where they can gain an education. Each of these children receives not just food, but hope, opportunity, and the chance to learn and build a better future. The combination is truly powerful. This year, your generosity can go even further. A generous donor has pledged to match new regular donations to Mary's Meals, doubling your impact for the first 2 payments, up to a total of £250,000. If only £4 can feed 40 children, imagine what such generosity can do. So, when reaching for our next meal deal, let's remember that our lunchtime habit can be transformed into a lifeline for children across the world. Let's donate £4 today and turn our everyday spending into something extraordinary. Visit www.marysmeals.org.uk/meal-deal That's www.marysmellals.org.uk/meal-deal. Yours, etc., Giuseppe Delano, Great British Bake Off winner. Referendum on Holyrood? Sir, with the departure next year of Kate Forbes, perhaps the only nationalist MSP and minister with a slim grasp on reality, the rumblings about the very existence of Holyrood grow. I for one would welcome its going. Just think, at a stroke an instant saving of billions of pounds, more cash for the NHS, roads, schools and much else. Women's rights could be reinforced, not taken away. We could return Scotland to where it once sat proudly at the top table, a leader in engineering and nuclear and oil and gas technology. At last, no more perpetual Holyrood whining and blaming everyone else for Scotland's self-inflicted ills. And a final bonus of no more cash-devouring pretend embassies and multiple jollies for the SNP's boys and girls. Let us have a referendum not on the breaking up of the UK, but on the continuing existence of Holyrood as it is. Yours, etc., Alexander Mackay, by email. Decision is no surprise. Sir, it should come as little surprise that one of the more intelligent members of the SNP, Kate Forbes, has decided to stand down from the Scottish Parliament. She has clearly recognised the inability of the First Minister to deliver basic public services as she did during the SNP leadership election in 2023, when she was openly critical of the track record of Humza Yousaf. It was also during that leadership election process that she endured some poisonous rhetoric from within her party relating to her views on abortion and gay marriage. One might conclude that her decision to step down from the Scottish Parliament has much to do with her faith as well as her intelligence in abandoning a sinking ship. Yours, etc., Richard Allison, by email. And that was this week's Let's Talk, date Wednesday the 13th of August.
Piping Up for a Busy Weekend, by Julie Curry. Glasgow is gearing up for a busy weekend as it prepares to stage the 2025 World Pipe Band Championships. This year's Worlds will be held on Friday and Saturday at Glasgow Green. It is the 77th time the renowned and historic international contest has been staged in the city. The pinnacle of the piping competitive circuit, the championships bring together the world's finest pipers and drummers to compete for glory in the ultimate, fiercely fought Battle of the Bands. Last year's event saw more than 7,000 competitors demonstrating their dedication, passion, skills and talent. The event attracted over 35,000 attendees and was also watched by huge virtual audiences worldwide. The two-day contest culminated in Scotland's Inveraray and District Pipe Band taking the title of 2024 World Champions. This year, with even more bands taking part, a total of 207, representing 15 countries from as far afield as Australia and New Zealand, Oman and Zimbabwe, the competition promises to be intense and exciting. Organiser, the Royal Scottish Pipe Band Association, is introducing a new format for the 2025 event. On the first day, following performances by Grade 1 bands, the focus will be on young talent. The juvenile and novice juvenile A and B bands will compete in a dedicated youth competition, giving more than 1,540 under-18s an opportunity to shine. Friday's finale will be a massed performance by all the young bands, followed by their prize-giving celebration, ensuring a memorable, inspiring experience for competitors and spectators alike. On Saturday, the spotlight is on the senior bands as their competition hots up. The two-day Worlds will culminate in the final awards ceremony, when the top 6 senior grade bands and 3 drum major grades receive their awards before the announcement of the 2025 World Pipe Band Champions. Colin Mulhern, the Royal Scottish Pipe Band Association's chief executive, said, "Tickets are in great demand, so anyone who doesn't want to miss out on the experience should book now." For more information on the event and tickets, visit www.theworlds.co.uk. That article was written by Julie Curry.
Smart move from Ofgem on meters. Scotland's National Advice Service has welcomed plans from Ofgem to improve smart meter standards from next year and make it easier for customers to get compensation for poor service. Under proposals announced on Thursday by the Energy Regulator, a set of tighter rules for suppliers will be introduced next year to improve the smart meter experience. One of the new rules being proposed is for customers to receive automatic compensation if they are forced to wait more than 6 weeks on a smart meter installation appointment. Advice Direct Scotland, which runs energyadvice.scot, receives a high volume of calls from consumers about smart meter issues. Since the start of 2023, the charity has handled more than 2,800 cases relating to the devices which measure energy use in the home and send readings to suppliers.
Wednesday 13th of August. District News. Churches. Unfortunately, Philip, who usually reads the churches section from the Kirkintilloch Herald, is unable to record this week due to a work commitment. So I'm in his place. I'm Ian. Springfield Cambridge Church. On Sunday, August 17, morning worship will be conducted by the Reverend Ian Taylor in the sanctuary at 11 a.m. An offering will be taken during the service. Please place your offering in the offering plates as they are passed around the congregation. Morning worship is also being live streamed on the Springfield Cambridge Church YouTube channel. A link to this can be found on the Springfield Cambridge Church website, www.springfieldcambridge.org.uk, and Facebook page, where up-to-date information about events and church organisations can also be found. There will be a vestry hour from 10 to 11 a.m. on Wednesday, August 13th, for anyone who would like to speak with the minister. There will be a short midweek service on Wednesday, August 13th, in the Cambridge Chapel from 11:10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m, followed by tea and coffee in the Hall of Fellowship. The Guild is inviting the congregation to join them in supporting the Eastern Bartonshire Food Bank warehouse by bringing donations and leaving them in the cupboard in the cloakroom. A list is attached to the cupboard identifying specific items specially requested. Tickets for the concert in aid of SAMH on Saturday, August 16th with Ewan Russell and Friends are now available. Price £10, £6 concessions. Copy for the September edition of the Church magazine should be sent to the editor, magazine@springfieldcambridge.org.uk, by Sunday, August 17. Kirkintilloch Church of God. At Regent Hall, Regent Street, our Sunday morning communion service is at 10:30 a.m, followed by a Bible message from Dr. Carol Smith. The Coffee Corner starts again on Wednesday, August the 20th from noon to 2 p.m. Make a date and join us for coffee and home baking. Everyone welcome. There will be no Sunday afternoon services during August. Our next family praise event is on Sunday 7th of September at 4 p.m. For up-to-date and further information on our services, visit our website on www.regenthall.org. Jesus said, "The work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent." John chapter 6, verse 29. Home Church Scotland, Lammermoor Road, Kirkintilloch, G66 2AB. Home Church Scotland, 6 locations: Kirkintilloch, Carmyle, Skilmorley, Lochaber, Livingston and online. A church for all ages. Home Hub is now open at 82 Townhead, Kirkintilloch. drop-in cafe, food pantry, Christian counselling, recovery community. All the believers devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and sharing in meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. Acts chapter 4 verse 42. 9:30am and 11:30am, Kirkintilloch. Worship service followed by refreshments. A warm welcome awaits you at either service, which will be identical. Also, children's church at the same times. Monday, read through the Bible discussion on Zoom every fortnight at 6pm. Tuesday, Heartbeat, Bible teaching at 9:30 to 10:30am Thursdays. Prayer meeting in church at 7 to 8am, football from 8pm. Wednesday, house groups for prayer and Bible study in various locations. Fridays, prayer meeting 7:30pm. Friday, craft and coffee at Home Hub, all welcome 10am. Alpha coming in September. Tent mission coming to Kirkintilloch in September. Home radio is available every day. See Facebook, Instagram and Home Church website for more information. Lenzie Old Parish Church. Sunday worship begins in the church at 11am. A creche is available for children under 3. Come and sing. The dementia-friendly singing group is on Tuesday, August 19th from 11:15pm to 2:45pm. A warm welcome awaits all, and of course a cuppa with some delicious home baking. Please feel free to come and sing. St Mary's Parish Church. The service on Sunday, August 17th will begin at 11am as usual and will be taken by the Reverend Dr. Ruth Morrison. There will be age-appropriate activities for our young people in the halls during the service. St Mary's will be taking part in Kirkintilloch Big Weekend celebrations. On the Saturday, August 16th, the church will be open for visitors from 10:30am until 3:30pm. Tea, coffee and biscuits will be available all day. During the afternoon of Saturday, August 16th, there will be a back-to-school potted sports event between 2pm and 4pm. Complete the games and receive a small prize. Light refreshments will be available from 2pm until 3:45pm. On Sunday, August 17, we will be holding our annual Brave Teddy parachuting event between 1pm and 4:30pm. Bring along your teddy, or any other soft toy, and see it parachute from the church tower. Crafts and a tea room will also be available during the afternoon. All are very welcome. Lenzie Union Parish Church. Sunday service is at 11am. A creche is provided for babies and toddlers. Young people are also welcome to Lighthouse and Bible class. There will be a coffee morning on Thursday, August 14th in the new hall for parents of Primary 1 children, starting school from 9:45 to 11:30am. An opportunity to meet and relax. Milton of Campsie Parish Church. Between 50 and 60 children enjoyed the antics of Paddington Bear at the Marmalada. The Adventures of Paddington Bear, along with Mrs. Brown and Mrs. Bird, were greatly enjoyed by between 50 and 60 children each day at Marmalada. Each adventure pointed to an event in the life of Jesus and was followed by crafts, puzzles, tuck and talk, games, and of course the singing of rousing choruses. The charity concert has raised over £1,300 to be shared with 5 charities. Thanks to all who donated and for all who packed the church for an evening of music, art and drama. Now, banners and bunting have been taken down and the hard-working team return to normal living. To God be glory forever. After a break, Cafe Connect resumes on Tuesday at 9:30am till noon. Our summer messenger has been put through every letterbox in the village. If you want a copy, just pick one up at the church. It's back to school time. We pray for staff and children as we begin the new session. St James Church, Hilton Road, Bishopbriggs. Rector, vacancy. There is a Sunday club at 10:30 on Sunday. August 17th, when we welcome back any young children. There is communion service in the chapel on Thursday, August 14th at 11am, and on Sunday, August 17th at 9am and at 10:30am, with hymns in the church. Everyone is welcome to come along to any of these services. Do stay on for tea or coffee and fellowship after the Thursday morning and 10:30am Sunday service. There are also virtual services in groups. For up-to-date information, refer to our social media: Facebook, St James the Less Bishopbriggs, website www.stjamesbishopbriggs.org.uk. St David Memorial Park Church. Next Sunday, August 17, our service is at the usual time of 10:30am, when we have our local worship leaders, Meg and Bill Lindsay. Please stay afterwards to enjoy a friendly chat with tea or coffee. The Friendship Club meets as usual at 1:30pm in the garden room. Bring your knitting or sewing, or just come along for the company along with tea and coffee. All will be made very welcome. And that was this week's church news, date Wednesday the 13th of August. Wednesday the 18th of August. District news. Holyrood View. SQA results can bring different emotions, by James Green MSP. SQA Results Day is always a moment of high emotion, often a mix of joy, relief, nerves and sometimes disappointment. For many young people in East Dunbartonshire, it marks a major milestone in their journey through school and into adult life. With Storm Flores causing disruption on an already stressful day, many families across our communities had even more to contend with. If you, or someone close to you, got the results they were hoping for, congratulations. It's a moment to celebrate and reflect on years of hard work. Enjoy that well-earned break and then begin to look forward to what's next. But for those whose results didn't quite go to plan, please know this: there is no wrong path. One exam grade does not dictate your future, and there are many routes to success. Whether that means going to university, college, taking on an apprenticeship, or heading straight into work, your future is still bright and yours to determine. Here in East Dunbartonshire, we have so much to be proud of. 81.8% of our pupils received an A to C grade and higher, compared to 75.9% nationally. Our schools are among the best in the country and, year after year, our young people achieve impressive results. But that success mustn't mask the bigger national picture. Under this SNP government, too many of the alternative options for school leavers have been allowed to wither. College places have plummeted to a 10-year low, and Scotland continues to see sluggish private sector job growth. Both of those are serious concerns, particularly for those who don't take the university route, and it's a problem that must be addressed. We must also do more, as a nation, to remove the stigma that too often surrounds non-university choices. Vocational careers and apprenticeships can be just as rewarding and well paid as academic ones, and for many, they're the right choice. So, let's support all our young people, no matter what route they take. Help them explore every option and remind them that success comes in many forms. Whatever results they brought, your journey is just beginning. By James Green MSP. Kirkintilloch Big Weekend. A brand new summer event designed to bring a real buzz to the town centre with something for everyone to enjoy. From August the 15th to 17th at the Cowgate, you'll find a mix of live music, great food, family-friendly entertainment and some proper showstoppers. From classic cars to roaming dinosaurs. The big weekend will take place mainly at Cowgate, which is just a short walk from the town centre, right in the heart of Kirkintilloch. Friday, 6pm till late. Saturday, noon till late. Sunday, noon till 8pm. Free entry. Workplace defibrillators. Defibrillators in the workplace are crucial for safety and duty of care towards employees, making a life-saving difference to cardiac arrest patients. Lisa Sharman, National Head of Education and Commercial Training, St John Ambulance, explains, "I started to feel dizzy and the last thing I remember was holding on to the railings, and everything then just went black." This was how father of two, Jonathan Oakley, experienced his cardiac arrest. He is one of the more than 60,000 out-of-hospital cardiac arrests that paramedics attend in the UK every year. Even then, the survival rate is low, fewer than 1 in 10 people. Jonathan was lucky to be one of them. A team of St John's Ambulance volunteers resuscitated him, performing CPR and administering shocks twice with a defibrillator. Every second counts in a cardiac emergency, and a defibrillator is often the critical factor between life and death. Yet, access to and awareness of the devices remains uneven. With 15% of cardiac arrests happening in the workplace, installing a defibrillator is a powerful action for businesses to take. Along with essential first aid training for staff, having a defibrillator on site ensures that they not only protect employees, but also visitors and the public, potentially saving lives. Life-saving potential cardiac arrests differ from heart attacks. A heart attack occurs when the arteries to the heart are obstructed, for example by a blood clot. The heart continues to function but is increasingly starved of oxygen. Typically, the person concerned will be conscious and breathing. Heart attacks can be slow to progress, taking hours or even days. A person experiencing a cardiac arrest will collapse without warning because the electrical impulses that go to their heart have suddenly stopped operating. They typically become unconscious and either stop breathing or gasp rather than breathe normally. Without help, they can die within minutes. Immediate intervention by giving chest compressions, known as CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and using a defibrillator can significantly improve outcomes. Survival rates are as high as 70% if a defibrillator is used within 2 minutes of a collapse. A lack of first aid knowledge in defibrillators at work. Despite this, research we conducted last year found that only 4 in 10 people in the UK have the skills needed to save someone in cardiac arrest, and less than a third know how to use a defibrillator. The limited ability of defibrillators has been a significant issue, although more are becoming available in areas most in need. While public access is growing, take-up of defibrillators by businesses is still lagging. Only 44% of workplaces have installed defibrillators, and more than half of employees have never been trained in how to use one, HR Magazine reports. Fitting a defibrillator at work is a win-win. Businesses have a duty of care and must provide adequate and appropriate equipment, facilities and personnel to ensure that if an employee falls ill or is injured at work, they receive immediate attention. Defibrillators are not a legal requirement in the UK, but having one in the workplace and training staff to use it can be vital to survival and key to a proactive safety approach. A defibrillator also demonstrates to staff that you are a responsible employer, providing more than just the minimum legal requirements, especially in large public-facing facilities like shopping malls, airports, schools, arenas, museums and hotels. Defibrillators can also contribute to saving customers and visitors. For these types of venues, the Terrorism Protection of Premises Act 2025, known as Martin's Law, has recently introduced new preparedness measures to enhance security against potential terrorist attacks. In addition to security protocols like bag searches and CCTV, the ability to handle casualties is critical, including staff with adequate, up-to-date first aid and training, public access trauma kits, PACTs, and last but not least, defibrillators. That was this week's District News, dated the 13th of August. Wednesday, 13th of August. Public notices, planning notices, East and Bartonshire Council public notices. The East and Bartonshire Council, Glenbank Road, Lenzie, temporary closure, Order 2025. On the 12th of August 2025, the Eastern Partnership Council made the above named order under Section 14 (1) of the Road Traffic Regulation Act 1984 as amended, which makes it unlawful for any person to drive or cause or permit to be driven any motor vehicle, with the exception of emergency service vehicles, vehicles engaged in the works and vehicles requiring access to properties on land adjacent to the closed section of road when it's safe and practical to do so, on Glenbank Road, Lenzie, between its junctions with Glenhead Road and Beachmont Road, Lenzie, by reason of works being executed on or near this road. This order will operate from 0600 hours on Sunday, 24th of August 2025, until 1800 hours on Sunday, 31st of August 2025. Alternative routes. The alternative routes will be by way of Glenhead Road, the B757 Auchinloch Road, Beachmont Road and Victoria Road, Lenzie, and these routes will be signposted. Eastern Partnership Council, Eastern Partnership Council Headquarters, 12 Strathkelvin Place, Kirkintilloch, G66 1TJ. Planning applications, TP/ED/25/0398, Lyndhurst, 23 Glenbank Road, Lenzie, Eastern Partnershire, G66 5AG, single storey rear extension, Section 65, affecting CA, 21 days. If you are unable to view the plans on the Council's website, then please contact the Planning Duty Officer to arrange a suitable time to view the plans in our offices. Written comments may be made within the above period to the Council, through the Council's website or to the above address. Any representations will be treated as public documents and made available for inspection by interested parties, and may also be published on the Council's website. And that was this week's planning notices.
Sport. Speedway. Gutsy Victory. Written by Phil Lanning. Read by Alan Todd. The Allied Vehicles Glasgow Tigers made it 6 wins in succession after beating the Comets 48-42 at Ashfield on Friday night in the CAB Direct Championship. Chris Harris was once again outstanding for the Tigers, with paid 14 along with Kyle Howarth, and that pair sealed the success with a last heat 5-1. Brown said, "We knew Workington were going to be a real handful, and that's how it proved. The track wasn't like it was last Saturday. They were beating us out of the starts, and the boys had to work very hard to get the points. It was just too close for comfort. We've had to take the positives, but to go 6 meetings unbeaten in this league is very good going. We are pushing hard to finish top of the league before the playoffs, and this is a big result. All the boys delivered real grit, and it was a gutsy performance to get over the line. It was a blow to lose Villads Nagel, but we still got the result, and that's the main thing. Villads has been scoring big, and we really missed him. Thankfully, we just about got the job done. We now face 2 more meetings next week against Edinburgh on Wednesday in the KO Cup, and then Oxford. It's a massive week for the club." Glasgow, 48. Chris Harris, 13+1. Kyle Haworth, 13+1. Dan Thompson, 9. Leon Flint, 7+1. Freddie Hodder, 3+2. Max Perry, 2. Tobias Thompson, 1. Workington, 42. Troy Batchelor, 9+1. Vinnie Ford, 7+1. Tate Zishka, 6+1. Fraser Bowes, 6+1. Jacob Hook, 5+2. Jai Etheridge, 5+1. And Ante Vuolas, 4. Written by Phil Lanning. Read by Alan Todd. Glasgow City make Lauder their new assistant coach. Uncredited. Read by Alan Todd. Glasgow City have confirmed that Hayley Lauder has assumed the role of player assistant coach ahead of the upcoming 2025-26 season. With former assistant Leanne Crichton joining Rangers, CEO Laura Montgomery and head coach Leanne Ross quickly looked to find a replacement, and it became clear that the long-serving Lauder was a standout candidate. On becoming player assistant coach, Lauder said, "I'm very excited. The stage that I'm playing at wise, it is a move that makes sense for me. I can continue providing that support as a player to the team, but also as a member of the staff to Leanne. We've always had a good relationship, and one that is really honest. We can challenge each other, but always have that respect there. I'm looking forward to continuing that." Head coach Ross added, "I'm absolutely delighted to have Hayley stepping into the role of player assistant coach. She is someone who knows this club inside out, having been here for over a decade, has strong and genuine relationships with the team, and is someone I have complete trust in. Her knowledge of the game is exceptional, and moving into coaching feels like a natural progression for her at this stage of her career. She's been a leader on the pitch for years, and now she'll bring that same insight and passion to the coaching side. I'm delighted to have her working with the team in this role." The 35-year-old midfielder, who will continue to be an important presence in the playing squad, has played for City 252 times since signing for the club over a decade ago in December 2014. Read by Alan Todd. Goals fly in as season kicks off. Written by Tom Freeman. Read by Alan Todd. Newly promoted sides to the Barclays National Leagues made a strong start to the 2025-26 season on a dramatic opening day in the Championship and League One. Elgin City, Glenrothes Strollers, Cambusdown and Dunfermline Athletic all recorded their first victories in Barclays Scottish Women's League One, whilst last season's League One champions, Bonnyrigg Rose, made a huge statement in the Barclays Championship, beating Renfrew Ladies 7-2 at home. Elgin beat Inverurie Locos 4-1 at Bishopbriggs, while Glenrothes Strollers swept a very young Hutchison Vale side 6-0, and Fife rivals Dunfermline Athletic emulated their male counterparts this weekend by beating Airdrie Community Ladies 3-2 away. Cambusdown recorded a comfortable 5-0 victory against West Dyke at home, whilst elsewhere in League One, St Mirren rescued a point with a 1-1 draw against Dunny Pace, and Queen of the South won 5-4 at Edinburgh Caledonia. The early Championship opener saw the sides relegated from the SWPL2 meet in Ayrshire, Ayr United running out 5-0 victors over Ross Vale. Bonnyrigg Rose beat Renfrew Ladies 7-2, Inverness Caledonian Thistle beat Dryborough Athletic with the game's only goal, and Stenhousemuir won 4-2 at Armadale Thistle, while local rivals Falkirk looked comfortable at home with a 2-0 victory over Morton. The Scottish Power Regional League Cup and Plate group stages also kicked off the SWFL season, with some eye-catching results across the groups. Group 6 especially will be one to watch after Central Girls scored 14 goals against Cairn Ladies, and Cumbernauld United won 11-1 against Alloa Athletic. Dalbeattie Star hit the ground running in Group 8 with a 9-0 victory over Newton Stewart, and Dumbarton beat Drumchapel United 6-0 in Group 5. Dundee West marked their return to regional football with a 10-0 victory over Blairgowrie and Rattray. Arbroath beat Jeanfield Swifts 9-0, and Grampian beat Stonehaven 6-0 in Group 2. Further north, Buckie entered the pyramid with a comprehensive 13-1 win over Buchan. Huntley dominated Aberdeen City 8-0, and Dice provided perhaps the shock of the round with a 3-2 win over Ross County. Written by Tom Freeman, read by Alan Todd. New white armbands to support young referees. Written by Kevin McRoberts, read by Alan Todd. The Scottish FA and Specsavers have joined forces to launch the #LetThemRef campaign, a new initiative designed to protect young match officials and transform behaviour across grassroots football. The new campaign will introduce a series of comprehensive measures to create a safe and more respectful environment for everyone involved in grassroots football, with a particular focus on referees under the age of 18. At the heart of the initiative are specially designed white armbands sponsored by Specsavers, which will be worn by all youth referees to clearly identify them as officials still in training who require patience, support and encouragement. By making young officials easily identifiable to coaches, players and spectators, it is hoped that the under-18 match official armbands will help foster an understanding that these dedicated individuals are both developing their skills whilst providing an invaluable service to the local football community. Willie Collum, Scottish FA Head of Refereeing, said, "Grassroots football is built on passion, development and community, and that includes the young referees who help the game run smoothly across Scotland every day of the week. The armband is a simple but powerful reminder that our youngest officials deserve encouragement, not criticism, as they grow in confidence and ability, and we are pleased that Specsavers shares that vision." Beyond the armbands, the campaign will look to introduce a comprehensive framework of protective measures designed to create a safer environment for young officials. Key changes include restricting referee communication to team captains only, establishing mandatory technical areas for team officials, requiring spectators to maintain a 2-metre distance from the pitch, and appointing dedicated referee liaison officers at matches to provide immediate support for young officials, as well as monitoring behaviour. Jasiu Janovic, who currently officiates in the Lowland and East of Scotland leagues, believes the campaign will have a positive impact for grassroots football in Glasgow, in Scotland. The 18-year-old said, "I got into refereeing at 16 to earn money at weekends whilst being able to be involved in football. What started as a part-time job quickly became much more when I realised the incredible opportunities it offers. Through refereeing, I've experienced higher levels of football than I ever would have as a player, travelling to different grounds, meeting great people and building genuine friendships with other young officials in my area. The armbands are brilliant because they'll show parents and coaches that the person with the whistle could be the same age as their own child. You wouldn't shout at your child on the pitch, so why do it to a young referee? Unfortunately, fear of abuse puts many young people off refereeing, but this campaign demonstrates there's real commitment to protecting us. It creates a safe pathway for anyone aged 16 or over to get involved in something that offers fantastic progression opportunities and keeps you at the heart of the game you love." Specsavers' Jenny Stevenson, Scottish Divisional Chair, commented, "At Specsavers, we recognise that referees are fundamental to football. Without them, there simply is no game. So by investing in the protection and development of young officials today, we're helping to secure the future pipeline of experienced referees that our sport depends upon. These young people deserve our respect and encouragement as they learn their craft, and we're honoured to help create an environment where they can thrive with confidence." Written by Kevin McRoberts, read by Alan Todd. Petershill on top in 9-goal thriller. Uncredited. Read by Alan Todd. In the West of Scotland First Division, Kirkintilloch Rob Roy earned a point away at Lanark United after their game ended goalless, while Petershill came out on top in a 9-goal thriller, defeating Thornywood United 5-4. Petershill currently sits 7th in the league table, with Rob Roy 3rd from bottom. In the Second Division, Ashfield were on the wrong end of a hammering, losing 8-0 at home against Maryhill, a result which left them at the foot of the table. It was a better afternoon for Caledonian Locomotive, as they won 2-1 at Kilsyth Rangers and moved up to 11th place. Glasgow Perthshire were also 2-1 winners in their 3rd Division match away at Glasgow United, lifting them to 13th place. In the 4th Division, West Park United picked up 3 points on the road as they travelled to Irvine, Victoria, and returned home with a 4-2 victory, moving them up to 6th place. But it was disappointment for Rossvale, as they were beaten 2-0 at home by Eglinton and slipped to 10th in the table. Last night, Tuesday, Petershill were away at Irvine Meadow 11 and West Park United entertained Curlick Rovers. Tonight, Wednesday, Rob Roy host Gartcairn and Locomotive entertain Larkhall Thistle. On Saturday, it's Peterhill versus Kirkintilloch Rob Roy, Ashfield are at Kilsyth Athletic, Locomotive travel to Maryhill, Glasgow Perthshire are at home to Knightswood, and Rossvale are at Wishaw. West Park United have a South Region Challenge Cup tie at Edinburgh Community. Read by Alan Todd.
That's the end of the 13th of August edition of the Kirkintilloch and Bishopbriggs Herald podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, and there will be another one next week. For more information about cue and review print Speaking to the Blind, check out our website www.bishopbriggs.co.uk. www.cueandreview.com. That's www.cueandreview.com. Thanks for listening.